How's it going, YouTube? RiceBondsMntna2Young here with you again. This video is especially in response to a contest being put on by the Essential Credentials guys. They have a podcast that they, I believe, simulcast on Facebook and YouTube, and it's all about 1990s inserts. And I've since become fast friends with the host of that show, Matt and Greg, and they asked a lot of subscribers, or all of their subscribers actually, to answer 3 questions as part of a contest. And the winner is going to win some sort of grand prize for being one of the first 100 subscribers to their channel. So I believe the questions are what you like about the show, what you think the show could use, and then maybe a story about one card that's particularly important to you. So if I start first with what I like about the show, I think that's really easy. I think both Matt and Greg are very likable and approachable and trustworthy guys. So when they say something, it carries weight because there's no agenda other than their joy of talking cards and their interest in sharing knowledge and gaining knowledge. That's a really refreshing, friendly, positive way of going about things in a hobby that can sometimes, really wear on you a little bit with a lot of the drama that goes on. So they do a really good job of creating the right atmosphere for people to share information and share stories about their cards. That's number one. Number two, if I would suggest something that they could do that they haven't really been doing, maybe it would be doing some legwork to find maybe an important person, an insider in the industry, to sort of interview and sort of do an exposition on something having to do with 90s inserts. Having an expert come on and having a list of prepared interview questions and then maybe a round table would be really interesting to me. I don't know if that's too professorial, too lectury, but that's something that I personally would enjoy seeing. And then finally, I think I'm supposed to tell a story about a card that means a lot to me. And so I had a couple in my mind that I was going to use, but I think the one that I'm going to go with is actually, it's a 1990s insert, but it's actually not one of baseball, which is what I collect and which is what my friends in the Facebook groups and YouTube community that I'm a part of collect. But it's a 1992, I believe, Pro Set Jerry Rice that I bought when I was 12 years old and in 8th grade. And back when I was in 8th grade, lived in the Bay Area, still do, and the San Francisco 49ers, the great teams, would come and play a charity game against the teachers and administrators of my junior high school. So every year, everybody would buy a ticket, pile into the gym, and your history and social studies teacher would be going up against Jerry Rice on the basketball floor, which is really cool. And then they had a signing session right after. So I went to the local card shop before this game, picked up 2 Jerry Rice cards that I was hoping to get signed. And I still remember walking up to his table when he was sitting there signing. And I was so nervous and ill-equipped to deal with the situation that I just sort of plopped the 2 cards down in front of him without saying a word. And I still remember he kind of reacted like, what am I, your, card signer here? But in later adulthood and maturity, I would have probably said, hey, thanks a lot for coming. Really appreciate what you're doing. I'm a huge fan. Thank you so much for signing. Anything that expresses how I really feel about the situation. But I was a 12-year-old, 11-year-old kid, so I was tongue-tied. He was gracious enough to sign both of my cards. And the reason I don't have 2 special cards to tell you about is because I had a crush on my social studies teacher in 8th grade. Her name was Ms. Mathers. And for some dumb reason that I can't really explain to you now, I offered one of the cards to her. So I was only able to keep one in-person auto of Jerry Rice, but it's one of my all-time favorite cards. It's priceless to me. I'll never trade it. I'll never sell it. It's a memory, and I thought that it was fair game because it's a 90s insert that means a lot to me. So there you have it. That is my entry for the Essential Credentials Podcast 100 subscribers contest. And I'll see you next time, guys.